finish up this side of the yard. We have a nice retaining wall in the very center, which we've shown you before. So I'm just going to do another one on this side. And as you can see, the ground kind of slopes down to the driveway. So I'm going to have to lay a row there first, and then come around this using the already the lines that are already here from where they put the grass. So I need to clean it out, level the ground, and then basically just stack the blocks like a normal retaining wall. But we have dirt and things like that, you know, keep going into the driveway, and that's another reason why we want to just have this nice retaining wall here. Alright, my first step with this project then, building the retaining wall, will be to basically rake out all the leaves and dead matter, the limbs and branches and things like that, so I have a clean surface to work with. Now you can see I've got it all cleared out, and I'm going to remove the old edging, and that'll be the next step. I've got to start leveling the dirt off, and I don't want this lip here because then that dirt will just fall underneath it. So I want a nice clean edge about the same height as our driveway is, and then I'll be able to start a second row, and I'll have to level this one off so that the second row glides right on to the first row that will go around there. Leveling off is the hardest part. You want to make sure the dirt underneath it is all compacted so that you don't have any more sinkage, so that your blocks will stay exactly where they are. So you want to have a nice level foundation and sturdy foundation. So you have to really pound it down. Usually I'll take just my boots and maybe jump up on down on the area, moving the dirt around things. I'm not going to do the sand like I did before. One, I just don't have any right now, but I think the dirt will just be fine. It's just going to be a few rows anyway, and I don't think it'll really need it. But I'm going to, like I said, level this dirt off, and that's basically the hardest part, getting the first layer down and level. Now that I've got it pretty well leveled off, I'm going to stick the blocks in. Make sure you start at the movable surface first, because I can always go that way. Can't go any further this way, so it wouldn't be smart to start with that block and move this way. Also, some of these blocks are in different sizes. Here's one of the coral peach ones, and here's another one right next to it, and it's not the same level. So we'll have to watch out for that when we start building the blocks higher. We might have to sand some off again, as I did with our regular one, or with our first retaining wall over there, because the blocks just aren't the same height. So anyway, basically then, you just start sticking them in. And you want to make sure that the block doesn't move in any direction. And here in a little bit, because this one's in an odd position, I'll probably leave this one, it looks pretty level, but I'll start with this one and then I'll put the level on them. And you want to stagger the blocks as well. I'm not looking for some uniform color. To look kind of random.
Well, right now they just look dirty.
Well, you can clean them off with a hose. So, take my level now. Okay, it's almost there. This one needs to come up a little bit and then I'll be good. It's very close though. So all you do is take some loose dirt, on the side, make this side raise up some. blocks off. And what I'll do, I'll take a portion of this off, and then take a portion of this off, so it'll lay right next to that block. I'll also have to cut another block so it'll fit in this space here. Then I can continue on going around the edge there with my second row. It'll be the first row on this front side. As you can see here in the corner, I'm going to need to cut a piece, and back there in the back I'm going to need to cut a piece. But for time's sake, I thought I'd go ahead and at least try and get this first row done. And then I can do those finessing cuts later, or even take them somewhere and get them cut, which would be much more precise and faster. Now that we've got the first row down and they're all nice and flat and level, we simply just need to lug more out and stagger the pattern again and just lay them right on top. We're only going to do another row. I think that's plenty. And then we can do the top one, for like the seating area, or just a nice, look on the top. And we'll still have to do a half block over there, and hopefully if I cut it well enough, I can use another half block at the end of it. And then I'll have another half block somewhere around here, but we'll just start laying the blocks on top and stagger the pattern.
That's looking nice.
Okay, as you can see, the pattern now is not going halfway in between, because the circle's tightening. So less space is there, which means that the blocks are going to keep going over. So somewhere in the pattern, try and find where that point is that starts to go, and I would say maybe right here is where it's not being halfway. So what you do then is take a piece of this block off, about like that, and then you'll be able to slide it over. Then this one will be sitting halfway, and then with the rest of the pattern I should be able to have enough blocks to go around, and it won't disturb the pattern anymore because there's not very much. And then my last one, because I'm taking that much off, should fit in there pretty nicely then. Because it looks that there's not a whole lot left to take off. So about an inch or two, and then that one should slide right in. And then you've got your second row all good and done. This is a retaining wall I built earlier. It's got 3 different colored blocks. It's got the peach, the sand, and the cappuccino. Well, I'm about to build another retaining wall, different though from this one, but it still uses the same applications as I used on this one. We're going to have the capstones in as well. They're running out of the cappuccino blocks, which is why we're only have 2 colors over there. It'll still make a nice wall. Alright, today we're going to work on cutting the block. What we've got is some overlap that we don't want. We want it to overlap nice. And as these other blocks, as you start to lay the second row, they start to go in. And as they go in, the circle gets tighter. So this one still looks good. And this is where half should be, so it's kind of over. So we're going to cut this block a little on each side so that it fits in better. And you won't really notice it at all anyway, as I've done on a different wall of this nature as well. So we'll cut a little bit off of this block on each side, Then we'll be able to move all the blocks over, and then we should be able to have a nice clean fit for this very last block. If not, we'll just cut it a little bit too. Alright, these blocks are what I'm going to have to cut. They're basically formed concrete, and basically somebody did what I did, or will do here in a second. Basically what they do is they get these blocks and they chip away at them. Some of them you'll find have big pieces that they didn't chip off, and you can correct them, or if not, it just gives it some character. But if you look at this block, I basically need that much off, which is about 2 inches. Well, if I look at this measurement here on the side, and this one's much longer. So I'll probably just take it off of one side by taking a little bit off of each side, and then this block will look very nice. And how you do that, you need to get a chisel and a good hammer. And what you want to do is create a line with your chisel. And this is how we'll be busting this block. So right now I'm just creating a line, kind of like a fault line, where I want the block to crack on. So you want to keep going over this block, a lot actually, so you get that nice cut in there. It's very similar to cutting glass. You put an edge on it, and you keep going back and forth that way. Let me turn it this way so it's a little easier. Keep following that line until you get a nice crack going. Like so. Then I want to go straight down where I want it to break, here, and it might just chip off now. Sometimes it does. And there we have it. A nice clean break. That's how you do it. It's not that difficult. So we've got our cracked block, and you can see it's still a little rough. It's kind of got a little high edge here. So if you take your pick, we can save that for something. I don't know, maybe you can bust it into smaller pieces and put it in the bottom of your pot or something. But you can see how nicely it just curved right off. So you take your pick, make sure you have your safety glasses on at all time. You take your pick, and now you want to just pick at this part here until you get a nice flat edge. Usually turn it to myself and just start taking this bubbled part off that didn't come off all that well. And you can make a fairly straight line by doing this. now we've got this piece. It's fairly straight to what I'm looking for, and mainly you want this front edge to be really nice. So let's go take it and put it in the spot. There. You can now see that the middle part is now back in the middle again. And we can move these blocks over. Alright, so I chiseled, this is the block I chiseled, and I had to do some little finite cuts on it as well so it fits nice. But as you can see, that one works out really nice in there. And it didn't give me the room I wanted, so I had to take off a little bit more on this block. And you can see that where I chiseled a little bit more using the same technique, and I took off a little bit more over here. And now that block fits perfectly. Now I have two spots where I have to break some blocks. This one needs a half block to fit in here, into this space, and there's another one on the other side. So I'll get to work on that next. So, as I said before, I needed half a block, exactly 6 inches on one side, and another 6-inch block on the other. So I just thought, well, I'll just cut one right in half. So I used those same techniques I showed earlier. Just create a line straight down the middle, and then one on this side as well. Just tap, 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 keep going, and I did on this side also. Now you'll see too, these blocks already have a line, so I just followed the line. You can see they have a line here and a line here, so I basically then just had to create one up here and finish this one here. But just because it's got a line doesn't mean it's going to crack on that. This is a preformed block. So you need to take your chisel and create a fault in there, a weak area. And then as you can see, this one's split about as perfect as you can get. Alright, since we have a flat side here, that end can go across or to the house. It'll give me a nice area that dirt and stuff won't get in there then. And there we go. Fits just like that. Now I can put the other piece where it goes. We're having the dilemma now with how to do the corner piece. There's two ways I think that we can possibly do it. One is to have the block situated that way, and I do some cuts to make it kind of form upright. Also taking a little bit of this piece off here so it won't be a trip hazard, because it seems to stick out a little bit. Then, what do I do with the white one? Somehow have that one be in that position somewhere. There seems to be a lot of cutting and edging. See, I don't want any of this flat stuff, so I want it to look rough like this. So breaking a piece off will do that for me, keeping it like this. So it's just trying to figure out, do I do this position, or do I bring this block straight out and then do something with this one? And see, this doesn't look good, this flat, so I'd have to somehow make a piece off of there. Anyway, that's the dilemma I'm thinking of. Alright, now we're at the part where we're going to put the capstones on. And the capstones basically then hide these grooves that you have in between the blocks, and it just puts a nice finish on them. Now we went with the sandy kind of mocha. When these stones get wet, they have a brown and sandy hue to them, which goes well with our sand and our tan. And we have these in another video that we did for an oval retaining wall, just similar to this one. So what I have here then is I have a couple of straight blocks that go this way, but now I get into the curve. So what I did was put this one on the curve where I want it, so it still matches, and then you can put this one on top. Now what will happen is I'm going to cut this block, and I'm going to cut this block, and then this block here will sit snugly in between the two cuts, and I'll have a nice full block here. So you'll line them up. This one is the angle that I want it, so it still goes in that curve that we've got, and this one comes off. So you have to watch that you get on the corner here, that you don't go over, because that wouldn't look good if you cut it here. So now what I would do is then take a pencil and mark this block here, and mark this block on this side here. And then what I'll have people do is then cut it for me. I'll go to a place and they'll cut them for me for about $1 a piece. So they'll cut this edge off and they'll cut this edge off. And then what I would do then, once I had these pencil marks, is write an X on here to show that it's waste. And then even underneath these pieces, then I would number them. Put like a 1 or a 2 underneath it. And that way I know where they come. And I'd put or maybe a 1, this one would be a 2 underneath here, and this would be a 3. And that way I know the order that they go in. Once you get them cut, they should all fit snugly, and then you can start gluing them down. And that's all there is to it. So, as you might find, some roots and things from various oak trees. This was probably from the one back there. Just going right through our new planting bed. It's got plenty of roots, so don't worry about cutting them. As you can see, I got more back there I had to cut. But at least now it'll be easier when we go to plant our plants to find the holes where we want them to go. Take a little bit of work, but it's well worth it. Okay, today we're going to glue the capstones down. So if you remember, we had them all cut, and then I placed them all around. And what you want to do, since I've been in here tilling and things, you want to make sure that they're all, still exactly where you want them to go. And I've already gone around and pretty much done that. Be sure that the edges are all squared off and the angles are where you want them. So now it's just getting the glue. And what I'm going to be using is Loctite. It's a landscape construction adhesive. It's really good stuff. But the problem is that the bricks need to be dry. Everything needs to be dry for it to work well. I've used it before when it's wet, and it didn't work all that well. They didn't stick. So make sure you turn your sprinkler systems off, and make sure it doesn't rain, or it's not going to rain. It's a bright, clear day. It should be fine for, enough for them to dry. So what I like doing is not putting the adhesive to the blocks underneath here. I like to put the adhesive right on the block it's going to go to, which is here. And that way you don't have any excess anywhere. So we'll go ahead and do that then. This is the gun I'll be using. And you can see it's got a piece here which you use to poke in to let the adhesive come out the tube. But you first cut this tip off, and I always cut it at an angle. So you cut the tip off at an angle, and then you can stick this in, poke it all around, then simply put it in here and squeeze, and that should do the trick. The rains have subsided today, and so we're going to start our plantings, and this is the more fun part of what we've got in store for this project. So what I've got here is called weed block, and basically it'll let the rain in, but not the sunlight, so photosynthesis can't happen with the plants, or any of the roots may still be left, and it'll also inhibit any seeds or anything like that that come to fly into this gardening area. So what we're going to do is just simply lay this out like carpet, and then we have these staples which you're just going to staple in the carpet, this weed block material. Now this part here is really close to the rocks, so I'm not worried about, well, the blocks rather, so I'm not really worried about putting the carpet, you know, right on top of that or whatever. We can nestle it around it, and that'll be fine. So you just want to get this flat, and we'll overlap it since it's just way too big. And there's a variety of ways you can do this. You can have it go this way, you know, do 2 runs this way and then 2 runs the long way, or you can just have them come out, you know, each way like that. Whatever way you want, whatever way you think is easiest. I'm going to do it in the longer sheets. So what I like doing with this is, first off, taking one layer here, and then I can staple this end down. Mr. Frog.
Oh, let's see. Oh, isn't he cute? Hold him up. Get him close. Come here. Isn't he cute? Frogs are important for our ecosystem. Okay, let's put him in the neighbor's yard. All right.
Well, I practically stepped on him, so I don't want to be around him. So I'm going to nestle it up around the blocks here, and I'll do the same with this edge, because I've got plenty. I'm going to have overlap. So there's 10 staples in each packet, so 20 staples is plenty, I think,
For this size project, how big would you say this is?
40 square feet maybe. So I'm just going to take a staple and just push it into the ground, be more compact here a little bit, but just maybe like 2 or 3 at this end. it's just to hold it in place. And we will have white rocks over top of all this, and that'll keep it all down as well. So it's just to hold it in place for right now. So what's simplest, since I have this curve now, is take some nice shears and just cut with a little bit of overlap.
Along the wall.
Yeah, following my wall that I already have. This stuff cuts really easy. Like so. Two staples here. Like I said, it's just to hold it in place before you get the rocks down and such. So there you have it. Now just complete the rest of your area and you're done. Alright, one more aspect of this planting bed. You see we have our roof right here. We don't have a gutter on this side. So actually that's going to be a help for us with the watering of the plants. And as you can see, it's got a nice little trough right here where the water comes straight off the roof. So what we'll do then is plant our plants specifically right there, and they'll definitely be watered then. And when the water comes down and hits the plants, it'll disperse the water and won't hurt anything. So it's just something to keep in mind if you have a roof like this and no gutters. That's a perfect area or place to put your plants. So here I've got all the material down, and this is what it looks like. So now we're basically ready for planting. And we've got a lot of plants that we already bought. And so all you do basically is position the plants where you want them. And then we can lift them up. And then by putting a big X, or cutting rather a big X, cutting a big X here, this is where I plant, and then you fold back the material, dig your hole, and you set your plants in. And then you just fold back the material back around the base of the plant, and that will ensure no weeds or anything will get, will grow in there. Okay, we've placed our plants. We've got the large opping plants here, and we've positioned them in key areas, along with the nice red anthuriums, and the beautiful red flowers. And then we have the bird of paradise. Now they're going to grow bigger. We just couldn't find any large ones right now, but we've had them before, and they will grow nice and big and beautiful. And plus, with these other plants kind of around them, when they're trying to get sun, they're going to automatically try and get more sun, so that'll make them grow big. So we've got 3 bird of paradise basically along the back wall. We've got 3 of these nice big apes in the area here. Then we have these variegated apes, which are smaller. Now these aren't going to grow that big. They're pretty much about the size that they're going to be. And you can see the variegation and why they're called variegated, because they have these white areas in their nice pretty leaves. They still give a beautiful flower just as those, they're just not as big. So what we've done, we've gone around and positioned all the flowers where we think they should be. And this is what we came up with. This is what we pretty much already had in our mind's eye before, and it worked out perfect. Everything's, positioned in a way that we like them, and I think it'll be very pretty when we get Alright, so what we're going to do is, we know where we want the plant, so now I'm just going to take a box cutter like tool or knife, whatever you want to do, and cut this one direction where the center was. And then cut it in the other direction. Move the plant a little bit down. So now I can fold these back. That's where my hole is. Going to go anyway for the plant. So I take my post hole digger, which is this tool here. This is a post hole digger, and then I'll use this to dig up the hole, and then I'll be able to set the plant right in.
Okay. It's almost finished. Gordon's just watering down everything now.
Okay, we've planted all 12 plants, gave them a little watering, and now the last and final, well, next to last and final, because we have some lights we're going to put in. But one of the next to last final things to do is put in the white rocks. And we got plenty of bags, so we're just going to kind of spread it all around and should be good to go. finished the wall. And now you can see we also put in some beautiful lighting. And we've got all the plants, we've got all the rocks in there now. And if you remember back in the beginning of the video, this really wasn't all that attractive area of our yard. We had some big overgrown bushes, and it didn't really make a statement. And now this makes a statement. And now, if you look back to, we started out, we dug up everything, we had the blocks placed down, then I put the capstones, then I put the weed protectant in, then I put the rocks, plants, things like that. These beautiful lights. We've also got now some nice sconces for the side of the house, which accent the garage really nice. So please watch the video. If you have any questions or comments or concerns, write us, email us, and whatever you do, don't be afraid to try this one at home. Thank you.